this is brilliant. What did take us so long to come to this? Having, the acknowledgement of young talent is so important in this industry, and as I look around at the faces, it's incredible how many talented women we have. And our own Jennifer Harbin started her career behind the counter, like so many of us did, with Estee Lauder at the Walt Whitman Mall, where she remained for quite a few years before she went on to become a counter manager and then an account coordinator. And Dior was lucky enough to find Jennifer 15 years ago, and she's been with us ever since. And she is the epitome of charm, grace, intelligence, beauty. But she shared with us, we have this regional meeting in Napa Valley every year in March for all of our regionals. And we were all hanging out one night around the fireplace, and we were chatting, and I asked Jennifer, when did you know that you wanted to be in the cosmetic business? And she said, well, I was 14, 15 years old, and I would go into the department stores, and I would sneak the buy-line cards off the counters. So she really came into the beauty industry through the fragrance, the love of fragrance, the love of perfume. And she has a passion for the beauty industry, and I think that's what makes really successful women in the industry, is that they do have a passion. Because if you really love what you do, you'll never really work a day in your life, because it's just so much fun. Jennifer also is the poster child, because a lot of young women ask, work-life balance, how do you do it? Can you get married? Can you have a husband? Can you have children? And she has two little Dior divas with her today, Anna Lynn and Samantha. And I know that they're someday probably also going to be Dior divas, because the first thing they did when they sat down was open up the goodie bag and start taking out everything in there and looking at it. So Jennifer is here today with her two beautiful daughters and her very supportive husband, Joe, because we all know that behind every powerful woman is a very supportive husband. So we are very proud of Jennifer, all her accomplishments over the years. When Carlotta said that she was doing this and we got the email, my first phone call was to Joanna Grillo, and my second one was to Terry Darland. And we put our heads together, and we have a lot of accomplished women in Dior, and they're sitting around the room here. And it was not an easy decision, but at the end of a long conversation, we said, look, there's one woman that we have that's really a superstar, and it's Jennifer Harbin. So please join me in congratulating Jennifer Harbin on this very wonderful.
Thank you, Pamela. That was quite the introduction, and the reason why that nobody now has VOCs out on the counter is I had a big jar full of them, loved them. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Board of Governors, for this recognition and award that you've established for this industry. And congratulations to my fellow honorees. For myself, my journey began into this amazing industry in 1991. As I sat in my college dorm room contemplating my next steps, I was reading an article in one of my favorite fashion and beauty cosmetic magazines when I came upon an article entitled Women of the Cosmetics Industry. This article featured interviews from women in major cosmetic companies and fragrance companies discussing their career in top management positions and their accomplishments. It was through reading this article that I discovered and they highlighted a new marketing program dedicated to the cosmetics, fragrance, and toiletries industry being offered at the Fashion Institute of Technology. It was at that moment that I realized my passion for makeup and fragrance could propel me into a career with endless opportunity. I was accepted into the program, and while I went to FIT full-time, I was given the opportunity to become a part-time beauty advisor at Macy's Walt Whitman for Estee Lauder. I thought I had won the lotto when they offered me the position. The experience of working with a product directly with the customer, I believe, was of incredible value in shaping my career path. After graduating from the program in FIT, my expectation was to go immediately into marketing, working for one of the major cosmetic brands or fragrance brands, creating programs for getting the product out there into the market. And as I began trying to get interviews with companies, I was always baffled by one question they asked me. How fast can you type? At the time, typing was not one of my strengths, and I certainly wish I knew more about the benefits of CEW then. But it was then that I realized that my passion was really in field sales. I loved seeing the account coordinator or account executive come in to work with my account manager on ordering, event planning, and evaluating the business. This is where I knew I needed to start. I enjoyed building relationships with clients, my coworkers, and store management. So one day I scheduled a meeting with my account executive to discuss my career path. And to this day, that person is still a close friend of mine, still in the industry, and now comes to me for career advice. Through her direction, I began my career as account manager, followed by a coordinator. And it was in 1999 when I joined Christian Dior Perfumes as an account executive that my career really started to take shape. Thank you, Joanna Grillo, for hiring me. Having come from a top brand of Estee Lauder in the department stores to joining, at the time, a smaller brand, I quickly realized the even greater importance of strong relationships, talent recruitment, and selling the dream of a brand, not only to the beauty stylist, but also to the retail partner and client. 2004 was a turning point for our brand under the incredible leadership of Pamela Baxter and Terry Darland. It was also the start of a new chapter in my career as I shortly thereafter became a regional sales director under Terry Darland, who is one of my mentors, has continued to show me the importance of relationships and staying true to your conviction and beliefs. They say it takes a village to accomplish things, and I truly believe that my village is the entire Dior family that I am privileged and honored to work with every day and gain knowledge from. It is also incredibly important to have an incredible support system, such as my husband Joe and my beautiful 2 little girls, who, when mommy's traveling and away, understand that is because I'm doing something that I love and I'm passionate about, so thank you. My advice to young women in the industry is to aspire to be with a brand or company that stays true to your values and makes you proud and honored to say you work for them. Establish and surround yourself with people who inspire you every day and push you to go beyond your comfort zone. Winning this award today means that I have accomplished, through passion, dedication, and strong desire to succeed, has been recognized by others I aspire to in this industry. I admire what CEW has established to continue to develop and support leaders and future leaders. The ability for an organization to strengthen the industry through networking, mentoring, and education, you really realize what an incredible industry that we are all a part of. I know my journey in this industry has only just begun. Thank you again for this honor.